What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. And of course, as I wrote this morning, expect a bounce, and here it is, pretty healthy bounce as we look. And look, the markets have the Nasdaq was down over 300. Now it's up on the day. We haven't gotten any trades to make, though. That's the one thing we always want to remember is we haven't gotten any trades to really get into here because the volume is not supporting the rally. So again, as we look at for some potential day trades, the volume is nothing. Okay, the rally was fairly easier to project, but again, and without the volume, it really doesn't help us very much. So we're going to sit back and wait. There was some volume on the opportunity on the buy side, but we'll take a look at our usual and see what's going on in here. Apple. Getting to that point where it's a little bit oversold, but a little bit of a bounce. Not much to do in here right here. I mean, if I was going to do anything, I'd look to the long side, but I'm not doing anything, just to be clear. Okay. Amazon, oversold. I would certainly be a seller of put spreads here, okay, that expire tomorrow. Okay. And I think that that we have to sit here and look and watch. And again, you have to make a decision. Remember, there is always risk to whatever trade you're going to make. So if you're going to make the trade, but that's the trade that I would make here. Coin getting hammered a little bit, and again bouncing off. But really, where were we? We were overbought, as we talked about on Tuesday. A great opportunity to sell some call spreads, and of course, here's what you got. You got a market that broke pretty hard. So again, it's you're looking at an overall probability model. You're not looking at what the news is. You're not looking at anything else. You're looking at purely into the price action of the market. And this is something that is very important to understand because it's always about the price action. That's our whole concern is what is the price doing? Where is the action? Where am I at in the specific chart? Crowd, again, really oversold. I think that you're probably looking at a real solid opportunity to sell some put spreads here. Here, I would consider selling some deep in the money put spreads and creating a potential synthetic call because, again, I would expect, even if it's going much lower, I would still expect a bounce. But we're now a week after all the crap that happened with CrowdStrike and all the other stuff. But bottom line is you're extremely oversold and have been so dramatically oversold and significantly away from the mean. You're about $80 away from the mean. So now, of course, the mean can drop down, but we would expect some sort of a rally here. Meta, again, Meta's a little bit more trickier. You got earnings coming out next week, but certainly for tomorrow, you could certainly sell call spreads if that was your choice. Put spreads, my mistake. Google, very, very oversold. I would certainly be looking to sell some put spreads here as well. Again, you're going to see that even though the markets are going lower or have been lower the last few days, that you'll be playing a lot of the things to the long side, looking for a potential bounce back because you're going to get it. As I wrote to my members this morning, beware of the bounce. Okay, we were the Nasdaq was down 300 points, and that's what we thought. Again, let's just make sure we're not missing anything here. Actually, we do have a trade in crude, and by the way, our other trades were winners the other day from Tuesday. And let's see. We'll wait for our opportunity to take a sell here. And we're going to wait. Let's hold on 1 second. We don't have a trade yet. We're still waiting. No trade yet. Okay. And we'll wait and see if this trade will show up here for us. And here it looks like it's coming. The stop's going to be 78.19. 78.19 will be the stop. Now we got to wait a little bit longer here to get the trade going. No trade yet. It went away. See what happens there? So if you jump too fast, the trade is not valid. Okay, you got to wait. You got to wait till it confirms. Okay, maybe we'll get it here. We'll see. Nothing else going on anywhere else, so there's nothing else to really look at. So, but we will look at this, and we've got some time to wait here, but it does look like it may give us the opportunity. Figure you want to be 54 or below. 54 or below, 77.54 with a 78.19 stop. And we still got to wait. You got to wait till it finishes. You got to let the bar close. I know many don't like to wait for the bar to close. I'm actually making 53 or below. There we go. We don't have a trade yet. Okay. Okay. You got a trade if you want it. Just get my stops and my orders in working. 19. Okay, and 42, 32. Okay. All right. So again, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're in the trade. We know where our stop's set. We've got orders working below to take partial off. So let it trade, and we'll go back and see what's going on here and the rest of the world here. IWM still kind of in the middle, still towards the upper end. Too much more of a rally, and we'd look to be a seller of some call spreads. Again, remember, these you can trade every day. These are not once a week. The IWM, the SPY, and the QQQ are daily, so you can play with that. Moderna in the middle of nowhere, and you can see that there's a move setting up in here somewhere because the Bollinger Bands are narrowing in, telling you that the market just stuck in consolidation, which then would indicate a much bigger move would be coming. Microsoft just kind of hovering back and forth here, but it is extremely oversold. Certainly one you'd want to take a potential look at as an opportunity to sell put spreads. Nugget, right in the mean. Not much to do here. NVIDIA, certainly oversold, and certainly you would look to sell some put spreads here. The Qs, very oversold. You would look to sell some put spreads here, and those I would do on a daily basis. As we look, I think that's something that is pretty clear. And again, it could go lower. Again, none of these are guaranteed victories, but when you play something that's a 70% probability and you play it regularly without opinion, without trying to guess, you're going to find yourself a lot happier more often than not. Okay, Square. We got very oversold. Looks like it's going to get a little bit of a bounce. Sell some put spreads there. SPY, sell some put spreads there. Tesla, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Never really got too oversold. Kind of just hovering here with this little gap lower. Not much to do right now. Win continues to work its way lower. You may want to use 80 as a base and use that as a potential support level as we look. And XBI, getting a little bit overbought, would probably look to sell some call spreads here. XLE, which I don't do much with, so we'll skip that. And Zoom, as I told you the other day, at 60 was a spot to sell it, and sure enough, it was. And of course, we're coming lower. So again, there's not a lot going on. I mean, volume is still an issue, and of course, our crude trades a little bit against us. Nothing to get nervous about, and you can see that there isn't much action in here either. So again, we're in a pretty quiet situation here. Not a lot going on. not a lot to do. So you don't want to force any action. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're patient enough to wait. Making a decision not to make a trade is the same as making a trade. Okay. So again, trying to be overly active in a market that does not want you to be overactive is always a question and always a problem for many. Okay. You put yourself in a bad position by doing that. So I just think that you have to be aware of the overall situation. And right now, again, there's not much going on. So we're really just watching the crude trade, which isn't, it's not coming down yet, but again, it's not going against us either. It's right about at where we sold it. So we sold it a little bit lower, about 53. So we'll see how it trades. But again, there's not a lot. I'd like to have more to give you, but right now there isn't a lot to go. So you have to be patient enough to wait. Got to be patient enough to watch. And now we have a small little profit in our crude trade. Again, we're not taking the profit. So until we cash the ticket, there is no profit, but it is in our favor. Let's put it that way. Okay. It is in our favor right now. And we just have to be prepared. And of course, we do have orders working. You should have an order working depending on how many contracts you did. You should have 10 ticks below on one. If you did more than one, you should have 10 picks below, another 10, which is 20 on the second. And then after that, then if either of those fill, you then go to break even. Okay. And then you're guaranteed that you locked in a profit. Okay. But right now it's really just nowheresville. It's, you could make enough to get a cup of coffee right now. Okay. But this is something that, of course, again, we have to watch and be patient and let the trade work itself, because overall there's not a lot to do here. And again, I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. We'll stick around another couple of minutes, but we're going to cut a little bit short today because there's nothing to do. It's not like, you guys want to sit to me and listen to me narrate what's going on here. So figure we'll go at about quarter after instead of 20 after as usual, because there's really just nothing to do. Okay. There's nothing for me to show you. There's nothing for me to do with you, but hopefully we'll get off, and it looks like we should get one of our crudes off at a profit, which you now did. So you can now go to break even. You now have a profit locked in on the trade. Okay. So now you're in profit for sure. You're locked up for sure. And now it's just a question of how much do you make? Okay. Now you have one more. If you have more than two, then you have one more working about another 10 ticks below here. Okay, but you should be at break even on the bunch. But remember, if it goes down another 10 and you get the other one off, then just reduce your stop by one, so you don't end up with a trade that you don't want later in the day. Okay, that does happen. Sometimes we forget what we have working, but right now we just sit here and we wait and we let the market trade and not try to put ourselves in too much jeopardy. So now are we getting anything here? So you're getting a nice rally in the NASDAQ, but you're not getting any action with it. So there's no reason to get involved. There's no volume in this market right now. Potentially the euro currency, but again, I'm not all that interested in. Again, I'm not interested in chasing this market around with the kind of action that we were watching. I think that, again, it takes a lot of patience and when you're in markets, because again, trying to get too active in a market that is not active is a sure recipe for disaster. But in the meantime, we'll see. We've still got our open trade. We've still got a profit guaranteed. And of course, we've got a number of things that you can work on if you want. Those are the ones that I gave you earlier. But for today, we're going to call it a short day because there's just really nothing to do. Make sure you've got your stop on crude at break even and you've got a profit. And we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.